Hi, my name is Hafiz Ahmad. I'm recording this video as part of MN502 assignment 2, which requires us to do a port scanning using two port scanners. Just to briefly talk about a port scanner is port scanning is a method for determining which ports on a network are open. Since port scanning identifies open ports and services available on the network, it is used by security professionals to identify any security vulnerabilities on that particular network. It is highly essential for network management, and unfortunately, it is also being used by a lot of cyber criminals to penetrate into the systems. I will perform this video in few steps and I will pause in between just to make sure that the relevant information is recorded and just to reduce the clutter. The first port scanner I will use is Nmap. So I have fired my Kali and I'm just going to the applications, Nmap. I will run Nmap. This is just the help menu for the Nmap. I will just clear it. So now before I go and do detail Nmap analysis, I will just quickly go to my terminal window and I will do ifconfig to check what are the devices on my network, and I find there are certain devices. This is the IP address of my Kali device. So I'll just use this device. The first nmap command I'm using is the which is ICMP ping. That is just to check which are the devices on the network. So I will use nmap space minus sp. These are just the port commands which I used before. So I'll go and I will run it. So this has started to scan the system. So this finds there are two hosts, 192.168.1.1 and 1.9. I know that there are more than two hosts on my system, so I will just run this command once again and see if it finds more. So this time it has found four, so 1, 3, 9, and 20. And let's run this once again and see if it finds more than four. So that is one of the drawback of Nmap, that sometimes it does not identify all of the hosts on the network. So I'll just wait and see if it finds more than four devices on the network. Yep, so it's just found four. Now the next command I'm going to use is a TCP ping. So that is just to check which are the devices which having TCP port 80 open. So I'll use nmap minus sp and then minus pt, and I'm just going to scan the whole network again. So it has returned some. You cannot use minus f fast scan or minus p when not doing a port scan, because I did not mention the port 80 here, so that was the error. So I have to mention port 80 here, sorry, and that's where it will perform the analysis. Should perform. So nmap minus sp minus p. The other error which I had is this p was small, so this p need to be capital. So hopefully it will work this time. Yes, it has started to work. So it has found different hosts with this port 80. And now the other one command I'm going to use is TCP connect. So for that, it's nmap minus sp And this time I'm just going to pick, okay, let's do it for the whole network because there are not a lot of devices. Just waiting, it's just trying to connect to the devices on the network. I may need to pause the video. So, okay, so it has returned some information for connecting TCP connecting to different systems. For this one, it says port 80 TCP is open, and for the second one, it says all 1000 scan ports are closed. And for the third one, which is this Kali device, it says all 1000 scan ports on this one are closed. And it took like more than a minute. So these are the main commands which we can use for using Nmap to scan different systems. We may do another check. So that is nmap minus SP. So we do a TCP ping. We do minus O, which is to check the operating system 192.168.1.9. And so it says it needs root privileges. So I'm just going to use sudo nmap minus O. I'm giving my password and it has started to scan the system. So it says operating system detection performed and nmap done. One ISV address. Nmap is not considered a good port scanner to identify the operating systems. So I will complete my nmap presentation here. And now I will move to the second port scanner. So let's talk about the second port scanner which I have used. The other one I have used is ZenMap, which is a graphical user interface for Nmap. So I have installed this software in virtual Windows 10, which is running separate to my Kali Linux. So I'm quickly going to run this as administrator and will perform some port scanning on ZenMap as well. So this is the window. The first one we do is again, we perform the same scanning. And before we do the scanning, so we go to command prompt in Windows 10. We run this as an administrator to check what is the IP address of our Windows 10. And I'm just going to check IP config. So the IP address for my Windows 10 is 192.168.1.16. I'm going to use the same 192.168.1.16. I'll do /24 and I scan. And the system is performing the scan. So it has performed this scan on the system. So similarly, we can select another system on the network, say 6, and we can perform another scan for that particular system, which is actually my host machine. Let's perform a scan on that. So it has started to connect. And so this is just working its way through. It may take few minutes, so I'm just going to pause the video. So this has finished its scanning. So this is the scan results for my host machine, and it could not detect the operating system because of some fingerprint issues. Now I'll just go and scan a website, and I'll go www.cybercertifications.com.au, and I'll see a scan results for this website. So the scan has initiated, and it's found different open ports on this website. So they may be presenting a security risk for the website that need to be addressed. So this completes my second port scanner. So just some uh, advantages and disadvantages of the port scanner. So Nmap, it's open source and it's quite easy to use, and it comes up with Kali Linux. I'll just close this one, and I'm moving back to the third aspect. So the strengths and weaknesses of the scanner. So Nmap is lightweight and it comes with Kali Linux. It provides a lot of information for the system, and it can scan individual IPs, and it's built into every major reconnaissance tool. The learning curve for Nmap is quite steep, and it has its graphical user interface as well. If for Nmap, if we do not limit our scan range, it can spend a lot of time to complete the scan. And also for Nmap, the results cannot be exported to a file to present it to others. On the basis of my practice, I see ZenMap is more user friendly and ZenMap is like more Windows based. So maybe you use ZenMap.